welcome to In Hindsight, where we showcase local New Mexico, talk about hot topics, and also ask the question, are you the a-hole? And I am your host, Day, and we are with Octo and Rito, and also our co-host.
My name is Michaela.
And I am Paul.
And we actually usually start by talking about restaurants or events that are happening in local New Mexico. And one of the restaurants that I went to for my birthday, because I had two birthday dinners, one with like my group and like one with my husband. The restaurant is called Indigo Crow Cafe. It's in Corrales Road. It's not like a big restaurant. It's a fairly smaller restaurant. But they have a lot of choices. Also, of course, bread. I love bread. So like they have like two bread dishes. I think this is just like the regular bread. The other one is a pastry. This is like the mussel appetizer. It was so good. It kind of had like a hint of curry to it, and it's a big bowl. So like me and my husband shared it for appetizer.
That looks so good.
This was like the seafood pasta with clams, shrimp, some spinach. The pasta was like cooked al dente, which is like I love. It's like not too soft, not too hard.
What's al dente?
That's like the perfect pasta consistency. It's not too mushy and like not too chewy. This is the other bread dish. It's almost like a croissant pastry almost, but it had brie inside and this jam on the side.
I've never had any of these foods.
Me either.
It's like, oh, it was so good. My husband had the lamb chops.
Oh, I've
And
had that. I've had lamb chops.
It was cooked medium with like some vegetables, a little bit of gravy. The mashed potatoes is actually one of my favorite that I've had of all the restaurants in New Mexico.
Wow.
Because I am a chef, so like I make my own stuff.
Really?
And like my mashed potatoes are pretty top notch. But just because I use like a lot of butter and gravy and cheese. This was like one of the desserts. They had like about 6 to 8 desserts. It was a berry. So they have like raspberry, blueberry, strawberry bread pudding with that kind of cream glaze on the top. Oh my God, it was so good. Like it wasn't like, you know how like sometimes the glaze or like the cream would be like too sweet?
Like overbearing.
It was almost like, it's like sugar almost that you're like, what are you even? You're just like a liquid sugar. Like this is like almost kind of like condensed milk, but like not on the sweeter side. Just like if it's like 25% sugar. So it was like really nice and like warm pudding. And like, so the service was really amazing. They had an indoor outdoor, but I think it's too cold right now. So their outdoor patio was
probably.
closed. And I think it was raining too when I went for it was like on a Tuesday.
Just done with winter already.
I was just telling her, like, I just came back from my girls' trip from New Orleans.
Yeah.
And it was in the 80s, and I was sweating, and I was just like, oh my God, I love this.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Why am I,
Can't
like,
wait
why
for
am I
that.
not like
For
this at
real.
home? Yeah.
I feel like our summer is going to be so short. I wanted to,
Don't say that.
I know.
I don't want
I
to.
want to have
want
a
it to
whole year of summer.
be, I know. I want it to be forever.
Yeah.
But like when we were eating the pasta, they changed the recipe for the pastas. It was a little bit more bland. Like the sauce was a little bit more bland. The mussel sauce was actually more flavorful than the pasta. So we talked to our server, and she's like, they think like they're actually gonna take it out because I wasn't the only, like they had like a couple of complaints already about like the thing, and then they gave us like the bread pudding as like a kind of like a free service. They're like, oh, we're just gonna give it to you for the house.
So
that's cool.
being a chef, do you just like go into restaurants and like judge all their food? You're like, I can do this better.
Well, the thing is, like, I do, but like people, I'm
I
not.
do.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I do judge
Thing
it a
is, I
little
do.
bit. But like, I think there's always this perception of like, oh, you're a chef, so like, you know, like everything has to be like crazy stand. I'm like, no, sometimes I'm lazy. I just don't want to cook. Like, I just want to go out and eat. To me, it's just like, I don't mind it if it's not perfect because it's never gonna be seasoned to me. Right? It's gonna be seasoned to the chef and like whoever is like who eats that food daily, especially if it's like a cultural food. Like Indian food is always gonna have more seasoning. You know what I mean? Like depending on the dish. So Italian food and American food are not gonna be heavily seasoned because people are not used to that kind of seasoning. Right. So I think like to me, I just don't want to be disappointed on the dish. I like, to me, if my husband's thing is like, whenever we eat, his question after is always like, are we ever gonna come back here? Like, are we gonna go back to this place? Because sometimes he gets disappointed because I'm just like, no.
Because it doesn't meet your standards. So you're like,
It just
I ain't gonna
doesn't,
go
yeah,
back
it's
there.
just, to me, like, I don't compare my cooking to like restaurant cooking. It's never gonna be the same because I have my own equipment. I take my own time. I know what my palate is.
Right.
So it's never gonna be the same.
Also,
Like
like
ever.
the huge variety of food. There's like never ending, like
I-
chances to experience something or taste
Yeah.
something you can't or don't know how to cook.
And it's just, and also like certain dishes are like complicated. Like I can make pho. Yeah. Do I want to spend 5 hours making pho?
It takes 5 hours to make pho?
You have to.
I've never had it before.
Well, that's like the shortest time because you have to simmer the broth.
Wow.
Because usually for pho, you use like bones and like bones with meat. So what you do, and also oxtail, and also what else? Like I forgot. It's just like those bones have like membranes. It's like really really delicious, and I can't even think of it. But like what it is
Is
like
it bone marrow?
bone marrow.
Yeah.
So you use a lot of bones, bone marrow, meat. So what it is like you strip them of whatever flavor they have. Because what is broth? Water.
Right.
It's water and salt and pepper.
Yeah.
It's not gonna taste like anything.
True.
You know? So like you have to put like the peppers and the seasoning and like it's the same thing with birria tacos, right?
Right.
So like tacos are tacos, but birria tacos are like birria tacos because like they simmer that meat for like 6 to 12 hours. So like the longer you simmer your broth, the more flavorful it's gonna be because you're stripping away the flavor and the proteins of the bones and the bone marrow and the oxtail and all that stuff. And that's what make the broths so delicious. So it's like sometimes I just don't have the time for that, you know. But like mashed potatoes, it's really rare for me to order mashed potatoes because my mashed potatoes are really really amazing because I use a lot of butter, I use heavy cream, I use like different cheese like goat cheese that like they're not gonna put that in the restaurant because it's cost, you know. They're not gonna
Right.
make something. It's a mashed potatoes. Why would I put Why would I put all my profit in a mashed potato side dish, right? So like you know, like I love like one of my favorite appetizers that I make for myself that's fairly easy is like baked pears. I bake pears, and then I glaze it with balsamic vinaigrette glaze,
Wow.
and then blue cheese or like a goat cheese or whatever. Some people don't like blue cheese because it's too strong, but that's what I'm trying to say. It's just like usually when people ask me for a recommendation, I get a little bit like scared sometimes because there's this expectation, right? Because they'll be like, if you don't give me a good expectation, what kind of chef are you? Like, why are you sending me into these places that have like
Well,
mediocre food?
I don't
Oh
think.
yeah, because everybody's taste palate's different.
Right. Everybody's different. Every time I go to a restaurant, I will ask the chef like give me whatever you think is best. Give it to me. And I've had hit and misses. I've had sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it, but each time it's like it's a unique experience because like you're saying, like the chef has their own palate and what they love and you know kind of like flavors that they love or the foods that they love specifically. Like literally everything you showed, I've never had before.
Yeah.
So, like for me, it'd be a completely different experience. Somebody can give me like the worst kind of pho, and I'd probably be like, "This is okay."
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, I do tend to go to like middle high dining when I do eat also. It's because to me it's more worth it. Unless like I have like, I mean, am I gonna get nuggets and fries at McDonald's? Yeah, that shit is it's addictive. You know what I mean? Like it's good. Like that's what my body wants at the time. But most of the time when I do eat out, it's usually like higher dining places or like places like Sawmill where there's a lot of options because like it hits like different parts like the salty and the sweet and the savory and like and then and then a shake, so like it hits like all the notes that I want to hit in like one meal kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that like money determines how good a restaurant is? Like, have you gone to a hole in the wall that's just as good as a 5-star?
Yes, so like I don't think money, I don't know how to explain it, like because like a lot of the Michelin star places in Asia are food stalls, food trucks.
Really?
Like they're not food trucks, but like they're like food stalls, because it's cheaper for food stalls to be in Asia because we have a lot of like food markets. So it's like it's very very common. Like each city, each almost province in Asia, and each country has their own like food markets, especially at night and on the weekends, where they have like 100 food stalls when you can try everything from like fruits to fried
Kind of
stuff
like
to
food
sushi.
trucks, or what are the food stalls exactly?
So it's like food trucks, but like boots,
Boots?
like food boots.
Oh, booths.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's what it is. They're like food stalls because like
Oh.
food trucks will take more spaces and Asian countries are smaller.
Right.
So they have like
Yeah.
little booths that they have where you get like, fried like eggs or like,
That's
squid
insane.
balls.
Hundreds of them?
Yeah. So
Sounds
like, I mean,
awesome. I
like
love that.
it's one of the street food is like really really big in Asia too because it's relatively cheap, like and you can try so many different varieties. Because like I always tell everybody the joke of like if you want to get the best Asian restaurant, you have to go to like a really really rundown Asian restaurant where there's barely any tables, there's boxes on the way to the bathroom, there's not even any signs. They ignore you most of the time, but the food is fantastic because it's not really money. I mean, money can be contributed to it, but it's all about like
Maybe-
how like what do they do for their food?
Maybe
Right.
money for the
Effort.
experience.
Yeah, because there are
What do
some
you mean
things.
money for the experience?
I feel like the scenery of the restaurant, the
The
location of the
ambiance.
restaurant,
Yes.
Oh.
that
But-
can make. I've had like really awesome looking restaurants, and they're not like the best tasting
Food.
restaurants.
Yeah,
But you're merely just paying for that experience, or
you're
like
paying for the
ambiance.
location
Yeah.
because like it's in like
Right.
it's like
so
in
money
the,
can do that.
Yeah.
Right, make it look nice.
Yeah. So and I think also like there's also that, but like no, honestly, it's just like I've had like amazing food at like high dining places, and I have like $2 in a stick stuff that I like everything that I ate in Japan. I mean it is Japan. Everything that I ate in Tokyo when I visited Tokyo, like it was delicious. It was like a takoyaki. So takoyaki is like this ball with like an octopus or squid inside.
Oh, I would
so,
love that.
So and
You
it has
would?
like a kind of like a teriyaki glaze, and I don't know how to
if I could
explain
do
it.
that.
It's this little seafood flakes that looks like they're alive, but they're not. They're like dry thing, but they kind of moves with the wind. But it's really really good. And I
That's so
think like
cool.
it was less than $5. I had like I don't know if you guys seen like the Asian movies where they had like the triangle rice things. So like when they go to 7-Eleven. So like they have these little rice cakes, like kind of like rice things that they sell. It's either triangle or round,
Oh.
and they're literally just rice. So like when I was
Isn't
in
that what they
Tokyo,
had in like? Did you watch Pokemon growing up?
Yes.
They had little Pokemon. Is that
Yeah,
what they
so
had in
like the-
Pokemon?
yeah, the rice
Okay,
thing.
because that's the only time I've seen it.
yeah. So like it's like literally just rice, and they put fillings inside like tuna or shrimp or like
Interesting.
or salmon or like fish eggs, like those little orange little tiny eggs that you get in your sushi. And it's like when I was in Tokyo, I ate that for breakfast every day. Like
sounds
every
good.
time I stop by a 7-Eleven, I'm like, I'm gonna get like those stupid square things or like triangle things, and they were like less than $1, less than
Wow.
$1, and it was like I was literally eating one on our line to go get ramen because the line was long.
Do you
So-
guys like M2Gs?
Matuchis? I do like them.
I haven't. I don't know. I haven't been there. Like, I've had like people like have takeout from it.
Theirs are interesting because they actually send their chefs to Italy to get trained.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, so that's like a good.
Yeah.
That would explain why they're super good.
And I
too.
always tell people it's just like, I don't know if this is an industry secret or anything. You know how like you always ask your server, it's just like, oh, like what would you recommend? I only ask my servers what would they recommend when they're high dining, like fine dining, because sometimes they do what we call like what is it called? Like they give you like a crew kind of meal kind of thing, where like the employees get to taste your actual menu, because we have to make sure like it's consistent.
Yeah.
You don't really get that on like middle and like lower tier. They only eat that if they buy it themselves, and most of the time they don't, because like why would they buy something where they're working? They smell it all the time. Because like when I work somewhere, I rarely eat there, and when I do eat there, it's not the one in the menu. It's like a Frankenstein version of my menu. Like I would take like the cheese here and the bread here and then the vegetables here. It's technically in the menu, but it's not a menu item. It's like a
Yeah.
Frankenstein menu item. Because like because we smell it all the time, we see it all the time, we cook it all the time. And to me, like I like tasting my food, unless it's like an eggs Benedict. I'm not gonna taste an eggs Benedict. I know like what it looks like, what it should look, how the egg should like
So
be
there's actually like like what you're talking about is actually like they did a study on it where people that cook their own food don't eat as much of their own food. And if somebody else cooks that same food for you, then you'll eat more of it. it's like you kind of enjoy what other people cook more.
Yeah.
It's just like
You're like,
it's
not
actually
for
a thing.
me. So I like cooking my food and eating it.
Yeah. I do, like, I haven't, like, since I've started my pregnancy, I've been more nauseated and dizzy, like, and, like, I have, like, all these, like, weird side effects, and, like, I have no appetite. So, like, sometimes I will cook the food that I think I like, and then I eat it, and I'm like, this is not what I want anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of annoying to me and my husband, because now we're like, what are we going to eat now?
Yeah.
I have to feed myself.
I'll tell you, try having somebody else cook the same thing that you
But
want.
like, now
so-
I feel like, because like I feel like I keep saying like I'm a chef, and like you guys have, like, I will definitely have like a, like our, because like I was just telling Michaela and them, like I had a brunch, I hosted a brunch thing for my friends. So I had like a Cobb salad. I made everybody like their own personal Cobb salad, and but it's not like a regular Cobb salad. Like I have like baked, like I cut like cubes of yellow squash, and then so I have like layers of like yellow nut squash, all the greens, the eggs, the tomatoes. So it's like, I mean, it's Instagrammable, obviously. And then I made my own.
Instagram worthy.
It's like an Instagram salad. And also, like, I made Belgian waffles. But Belgian waffles are heavier because we use yeast. You actually have to poof them. They're not like the pancake or regular waffle recipe. So I have to like let it rise and make them a big poof before I can actually make them. So they're heavier, and they have sugar crystals on them. So when you bite them, there's like a melted sugar caramel
Have you been
taste
to
to it.
Tia B's Waffleria?
Yes, that place is
You
so
have?
amazing.
It is good, right?
I love that place.
Yeah, really good. I'm talking to waffles. I'm like, so since you're from, where are you from again?
Philippines.
So the Philippines. With Sushi Hana next there, like, do they have sushi?
We do,
Philippines?
but it's more.
Like,
What
how
is
do you-
the other thing? It's like sushi, and then there's other thing that's more fresh, that like less rice. I forget. I might have a brain fog right now.
Is it sashimi?
Yeah, sashimi. So we eat more sashimi really than sushi. Sushi is very American, because even when you go to Tokyo, their sushi is completely different.
Really?
Yeah, so like all their sushis have wasabis on them. It's not a choice. All of your sushis will have wasabi, but you will fairly taste it, because like most wasabis that they export or they get imported outside of Tokyo is ginger.
Oh.
They just like dye it. It's a very, very small percentage of actual wasabi. So like when you have sushi in Tokyo, like you would have like an aftertaste of like, hey, that was like a little bit of a spice. But it's very, very like hint.
I love spicy stuff.
I do love spicy.
I want it to be so hot I'm sweating, and I'm like I'm rethinking my choices. You know, I'm just like, this is a mistake. That's when you know it's good.
That means you need to go to Korea. Korea has
That
like,
means you need to go to Korea.
yeah. Korea has like a lot of like spicy stuff. That's why I have to eat spicy, because like whenever I go back to New York, I eat Korean food, and I'm like, my spice level is not up to par. Like this shenanigan is really spicy. But there are like some, because like Filipino food isn't really, it's not we have some places in the Philippines that we have some spice, but it's not really a spice. It's not like Thai or Korean, like it's or Vietnamese. Like we don't really do. We more do spice in like dipping sauces, like in our vinegars, in our soy sauce. When we have to dip something, we'll put like the little green, red peppers on it to give it a little bit of that spiciness. But it's not really in our food that much.
Since you've been here, have you had like Bob's Burgers, the taco burger?
I don't eat burgers.
Oh, okay. Well,
I like smelling them though.
The only reason I bring it up is because the sauce that they put on it is a green chili sauce, and it is so hot. I have yet to have a chili that is like that hot.
Oh, I
It's-
hate
Is it-
that.
It's
I don't-
almost unbearable, but
I
I
don't do
love
that.
it.
Yeah, I'm
I
not,
don't do that.
I'm not more into like punishment spice.
Oh yeah, it's almost punishment spice. It's like you can't, like
So like, but like I do like a little bit, especially now that I'm pregnant. I either like my stuff like way too much flavor and spice, or like chicken noodles.
Like super
Bland.
plain or super.
Yeah, super plain or like super spicy flavorful.
Huh.
I'm like totally like in a different spectrum.
I'm getting more into the spices and like the chili. I'm not very much that person.
you didn't like chili before, or what?
I like stuff kind of plain, to be honest.
It's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay.
It's like I'm not going to be doing like the crazy chili, spicy stuff. That's
Like
just
that-
not
How
for
did you
me.
grow up here and not be like ridiculed?
I do
for it,
not
though?
like Christmas sauce.
There's some chilies actually not that hot here too.
There really
More,
is.
red chili, in my opinion, is always less hot than typically. Not all the time, but like typically red chili is less hot than the green.
And that's funny because I have a different opinion on that.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, the thing is just like with green peppers, it's either not spicy or just like dying.
Really, really hot.
It's never in between. That's what I find about green chili. It's like, because like even with like, I like grilled sashito peppers. It's just green peppers. It's like, I call them pepper roulette. So like most of the time you're like, I'll eat like 10 of these. And then you get one and I'm
It's
just
just
like,
hot
like,
as-
it's
now you're
really
like,
hot.
now you're questioning your life. You flash back to 1992. Like, did I make the right decision? But then you go back, but the other thing was amazing. Should I take a chance? You know, it's just, it becomes one of those things where like, but I want 10 more of these. But I can get that one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the chili flavor. I don't like the chili heat.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So you should probably grow your own chili then, because like I grew some, and I think what determines it is the water, like how much water they get.
Interesting.
And the heat.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. The amount of water and heat. But like one of them that I grew was just like so sweet rather than hot. And I don't know exactly why, because like my friend is the one that grew it and everything. He's an amazing. He has like the green thumb, but the chili wasn't hot. It was like barely hot, but it was really sweet, and it was just like it was refreshing almost.
Yeah. There is like some peppers are like that, and that's why like
But we pulled it straight off
Yeah.
the plant, straight off the plant.
I
You know?
love like stuff like that. It's just like so.
Yeah, and especially when you know what you're growing it with. Like we didn't grow with any pesticides, you know. We grow it straight from the ground, you know. So it's like you know that it's gonna be it's gonna be healthy, you know. Because green chili is actually really healthy. It's filled with vitamin C.
Oh.
And,
It's also
antioxidants.
thermogenic.
Is what?
Too. A thermogenic.
What's that?
It like heats up your body temperature and helps you burn calories and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
And it
It
helps
like
with your
speeds. That's
digestion.
what speeds up your metabolism.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I
So
mean,
it
like,
is good. I do like eating it, just not hot.
Just not suffering.
yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm literally. I went to dinner the other day with my brother and my parents, and they were eating some green chili, and they're like, oh, this is pretty hot. And they had to have like a little bit, and I was like, let me try, and I scooped a spoonful of it, and I was like, and just ate the whole spoonful, and I was like, woo! My eyes started sweating. It started going.
I'm like, my day would be canceled if I did that. Like, I would go to bed and like, I would cancel all my plans and go to bed. And
I think we
be
were
really
gonna have to
upset.
eat
I
out
regret
after
it.
this. Like, where are we going after the show? Where are we going?
Yeah, seriously.
Dinner time.
It's around that
I would
time.
love to try some of the foods that you're showing on yours. And
Yeah.
I would love to show you some of the places that I go, because I always go to taco trucks.
I love taco trucks though. I do, but it's just like it's like one of those things. Like I eat what I crave right now.
True.
Yeah, so it's just like
What do you crave?
random stuff.
Like right now, like right now.
If like right now, I really like I love foie gras. I think right now I can eat as many as I can, but they're really
What's it called?
expensive. It's foie gras, so it's duck liver.
Ooh. That's
So
see everything you're saying. I've never had any of this.
so
Like
it's
duck
just
liver.
on my group dinner we had those, and it's like a little tiny things, like $26. So it's like they're very delicious. It's like I'm like for some like I am craving a lot of like Filipino food right now, but I can't buy the ingredients or the vegetables or anything. That's why it's really
What do you guys season it with? Like what's
it's not the seasoning. It's like the things that it's mostly a lot of them are like mostly vegetarian, but it's different vegetables. So we have like our own spinach and like our own kind of different vegetables that goes with it that we don't. It doesn't exist here.
there's no restaurants here that are like that?
No, the only Filipino restaurant closed like
Why don't
after
you open
COVID.
that? Why don't you open that?
You gonna give me money? Are you gonna
No.
be my capital investor?
No, like, I don't have any money.
So, but
You're all,
no,
if
we-
I did, I would take that idea.
You can. I'll
would.
work for you. I just don't want to open my own thing because like I went to school, so it's like I know what I need to do to make enough profit, and it's a lot. How many
Yeah.
tables you have to turn, how many people you have to sit, how fast.
Did you go to culinary school? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandparents owned a restaurant, and they said it was really difficult.
It's a lot. You're lucky if you make if you make money the first 2 years.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I eventually want to own a business, but I think like restaurants is probably one of my like bottom tier businesses,
It's very risky.
just because it's hard.
It's the most risky.
And
It's the most risky business.
I also don't know anything about it.
And most banks don't actually loan you money if you start restaurants now.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have at least like a good amount of like capital, or
Like you
you've
could
been-
do it. I couldn't.
And then my dad was telling me that it's also highly regulated against because of the health code violations that
health
happen.
code violation, and if you have liquor licenses. and
Who
all
just
that
got
stuff.
who just got shut down
I have no idea, but I know there's like they just did
for
like
breaking violation?
They like they
There's a lot of people that
Somewhere like Tucanos. I don't think it was Tucanos. I don't
But it-
think.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
I know. I saw that. I saw the article.
Somebody
you
got
looked at the
shut
camera
down.
like, don't quote me.
Don't come to me.
don't know.
Potentially somewhere
speculations.
somewhere like that.
Yeah.
They
This is
did.
pure speculation.
Yeah, they got shut down for like
yeah.
being in red.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Somewhere-
Of, I think there was like
restaurants
at least
like
5
that.
restaurants that went in red.
There was a restaurant I saw that got fined by the city for not paying its employees. They were like just not paying any of their waiters and waitresses.
Huh.
That's horrible. They get paid like $2 an hour.
Right, and for you not to be,
Like,
not to pay them.
ridiculous.
Like,
But yeah.
jeez. Yeah, I think they should honestly pay them a minimum wage.
We really do. Well, they don't, because that's just the business.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are definitely eating after the show, just to let you guys know.
100%.
Roughly.
Where are we going?
And anywhere, everywhere. It's
Any
like
and everywhere.
of like food hopping, right?
That's
Instead of
what I
bar
was-
hopping.
I want to get your opinion on the Sushi Hana next. Like, you've been there?
They're okay. They're not the best.
Okay.
But I think it's really hard because Albuquerque is not a seafood destination.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not like.
It's only, you have to try Sharky's. They're fish tacos.
Oh,
That's what
they're
everybody
good.
says.
You
I
had
gotta
it?
go.
Yes.
Okay.
Not many people have. See, like,
But my
I know you're not
favorite-
the only two. Like some people, I keep forgetting about it.
My favorite, like I guess, seafood place here is like Kraken Crab.
Oh,
Personally,
okay.
I just love
oh
like
my gosh.
the messiness of it.
I don't like the messiness of it. I'm the
love it.
complete opposite. I've had so many friends and like, that the love cracking crab.
They're just so expensive.
And
is,
that's
yeah.
where I would get into some like spicy sauce.
And also,
I
bring,
like their
that's a
spicier
group
sauce
food
there.
definitely. 'Cause you not want to be paying that
'Cause you-
$70.
Yeah, because you like
by
marinate.
sale.
Why
as
do
much
you
as you
like
want.
digging through that big old bag of
Because
random
it's
stuff?
different. Like I don't know, it's not something that I would normally do.
It's like a treasure bag.
It's experience.
You're just pulling out like a big old cob of corn and then like some like crab leg. You're like, what? Where is all the?
Have a bit.
Unfortunately, we are going to segue to our hot topic. I think we're gonna put in actually a video. I don't know if you guys are aware that the Senate actually had a hearing for the TikTok owner because they are either have to sell their company or actually stop operating in the U.S.
Yeah.
What?
So we have a video clip that's we're gonna play right now, and we're gonna talk about it.
I had no idea.
ByteDance is not owned or controlled by the Chinese government. It's a private company.
Mr. Chu, has ByteDance spied on Americans at the direction of the Chinese Communist Party?
No,
Has ByteDance spied on American citizens?
I don't think the spying is the right way to describe it.
All right.
This is, we're committed to be very transparent with our users about what we collect. I don't believe what we collect is more than most
You see,
players
my
in the
problem
industry.
here is you're trying to give the impression that you're going to move away from Beijing and the Communist Party. You're trying to give the impression that you're a good actor. But the commitments that we would seek to achieve those goals are not being made today.
I have seen no evidence that the Chinese government has access to that data. They have never asked us. We have not provided.
Well, you know what?
I've asked
I find that actually preposterous.
You couldn't take action after 41 days when a clear threat, a very violent threat to the chairwoman of this committee and the members of this committee was posted on your platform. You damn well know that you cannot protect the data and security of this committee or the 150 million users of your app.
The algorithm drives a great user experience for many, many users. Yes, there are some bad actors who come in and post violative content, and it's our job to remove them. But the overwhelming experience is a very positive one.
You have not given straightforward answers. We don't find you credible on these things.
I think there was like a meme of like this like Senate thing. It's just like when a Gen Z explains technology to their grandpa kind of thing.
Or I saw like when the boomers are trying to understand the new apps.
Or it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like when the boomers like lost their password on Facebook, and as a Gen Z, you have to explain to them how to change their password kind of thing. Because like it's a little bit sad, I think, to me as an American, because those are our representatives, right? So these are the
Yeah.
people that we elected, right, to
Did
ask
we?
these questions. But the
A lot of
problem
them
is
run
like,
uneven, unopposed a lot of the time, and especially senators and stuff.
Yeah.
It's so
it's just sad because like it's not even about the age. I feel like they did not research the information about like how actual social media is. A lot of the questions that they were asking doesn't even pertain to TikTok, because they were saying how like, well, you were mining data. Facebook was mining data.
Yeah.
Instagram was mining data. It was so bad. Like, remember
literally sell data.
yeah, they were selling it for like the analytica stuff that like, you know what I mean? But like even the TikTok owner was saying how like they are actually not only like looking, and like if you violated terms, they take it out, which Facebook also do. But like one of the things that they do is like they actually not just take your data, but like they see who is actually mining your data, because they know that like it could pose a security risk. So their main things that they were trying to explain to these older people that did not research their questions is that, why are you regulating us when you're not regulating the social media that is coming out of your country?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna give us if you're gonna penalize us, right, as a social media, that means you have to have the same regulations, the same amount of laws for the same social medias that are operating, even if it is in your country. I'm not saying that like, yeah, China, go ahead. The data are like minor data. You know what I mean?
They need to be able to, like, we need to have people that actually understand the process, questioning the people about the process. Like, having these guys that are 60 plus, 70, and they don't know what they're asking. They don't know how to even interrogate these people. It'd be like me going like into a whole nother country and being like, I'm trying to interrogate these people, well, without speaking their language. Like, you have to be able to speak their language. Having actual coders and actual people that make apps coming in and questioning these people, being able to create a unified law is important. And like, I'm so confused of why these old senators thinking that they can just come in and be like, well, so your app uses Wi-Fi, right?
Yeah, it's just really sad too, because like I don't even think they own social media on their phones.
Right. They probably don't.
What's the part is like, I don't even think they know how to like.
They probably don't even have an iPhone or nothing.
No, they don't even have. I don't doubt. Like, they don't even have any accounts. They don't even know how to post things on social media. And like, I'm not saying that like, oh, we should have like younger. You know what I mean? Younger people. Like, I think like the problem also is just like they did not research anything. They don't know anything about this technology. They don't even know how users use it. They don't understand even like the filter stuff that like I know, like my 7-year-old nephew would know, because they were using it. They were like baffled and confused about this technology.
This is why I think that we should have I think we should have younger politicians. I honestly think that there should be a cap on politicians, because when we first started this country, we were ran by people that were in their 30s and 40s, and they didn't go past that. When they hit like 50s, they were already done. But now we have senators in their 70s, people that are dying in office. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's just like, and
What were you going to say?
I think I was getting to the point where I was saying there could have been a lot of different useful like aspects for that. And a lot of like irrelevant things were being mentioned. So
questions
they really
that
just didn't get anywhere.
It's the same. It's
just
like they could have asked like
sad.
relevant questions of like, if you are dieting, like if you like questions like, and even me who's like not even that technological savvy, like I would even like, if you are mining our datas, where are all this information coming from? How are you when you're mining them, how are you categorizing them? Right? Is there like an age? Like also like when you do, I heard that like your TikTok in China is completely different from us. Like they actually self-regulate TikTok in China.
Yeah.
Not on like, not as a parent, like you stop like phone
the
time.
entire country. Yeah.
The actual apps, like if you're a certain age, it just stops. Like you can't use it anymore. It like logs you out of TikTok.
And they have educational TikToks towards the Chinese people, rather than with us. It's kind of more like people dancing and like random stuff.
Yeah, and also
literally anyone could post anything, and that's what you're filling your brain with.
Yeah.
Right.
Really.
It's like different things that they can ask. It's just like also like, how are you making sure that like my information is secure? Are you selling my information to like a third party? Questions like that. That like, hello.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm a chef. Like,
The
you know
time
what?
was
I don't. You know, I did not have a bachelor's in
wasted.
engineering or anything. You know what I mean? But even I have these questions because I don't know. Google, Siri, maybe. You know.
Well, like I said, they have no. It would be like teaching somebody a brand new thing. It would literally be like teaching somebody that's never been around a car how to change an engine. That's what you're asking. That's what we're asking these senators to do, to come in and ask the proper questions when they've never been around it. They didn't grow up around it, you know, and they probably denied any kind of technology there, like for the last, you know, for as long as it's been around them. So I don't understand that, you know, like how we can even trust their decision making in making a law.
Well, the thing
about
also
it.
is, like I said, it's like it's so embarrassing because this is out there in the internet, right? So people out there in different countries, like, wait, this is where Facebook and Instagram and Tesla are coming from. They don't even know basic technology. Like, how are they like? You know what I mean? Like, how are they like? You know what I mean? How are they like a super country or a power country when like they don't even know Wi-Fi?
Most of our coders on the top level, because I code actually. I don't know if you guys know that, but like my brother is also a coder. We both code. I coded my website from scratch. But the main coders at the top level are actually from India. The majority of them.
I can see that.
We import a lot of them. So what they do, especially with colleges, is they have specific, you know, grants and all that kind of stuff that they bring in.
To recruit, yeah.
They recruit coders from India mainly, but all over the world. But it's never going to be from America because our education system is so poor. We're not teaching the proper. We're not teaching anybody to code anyways. You know, like I was a coding teacher, and we started teaching kids in high school to do HTML and CSS. They learned all of that in a couple of weeks because HTML and CSS is easy. And after that, we started getting into a little bit of Java, and that's when they started getting a little bit, you know, like falling off a little bit. But I think that if we taught kids CSS and HTML in an elementary school, then by the time that they get to high school, they will be able to work with Python, they'll be able to work with databases, they'll be able to make websites that can actually function into helping society move forward, rather than just being like a product of the app. You know, because all of us really are just, we can only be like content creators. We don't see many apps being made in America. How many people are actually making apps and being successful in America? Like Facebook was the beginning. After that, a lot of these apps like TikTok, you know, are being made outside of the country. And now we have these problems where they're like, well, how are we going to regulate these people?
Exactly. I just think like if you're gonna regulate one social media, you have to regulate them all.
Yeah.
Because then there is like, I understand there is like espionage and like, you know, I don't deal like in that capacity. You know, I'm just here living in Albuquerque in my whole life, like, living my own life. But it's just, like I said, it's just sad to see this goes for hours and hours, and you're just like, wait, they're representing us. Like this is what the whole world is seeing. Like we're nothing but like a laughing stock. And
They should at least open it up to the public, and the public should be able to somehow go on like a certain platform and be like, I want to ask the senator, I want to give the senators questions to ask these guys, you know? Like all of us should be able to be like, okay, I think you should ask the TikTok people like what their algorithm is targeting.
Or they
with
should have
this
even
rate.
invited all of the social media apps. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that would've
And
been
compare
good.
them.
Yeah, that'd
You know
been
what I mean? So
great.
like they could be like, well, what is Mark
Have-
Zuckerberg
have-
doing different than
Have
TikTok
Mark
and
Zuckerberg
Instagram?
question the TikTok guy.
I know, it's just
Like
like
hire him to question that guy and hire that guy to question
like
him.
even
and then,
even if the senators or like whatever like don't understand it, we understand to like a certain level that like, okay, this is like actual information that we can learn because they have the capacity and they have the information to actually know this stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just, but that's where we are.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I
what
think
it
it
is.
was kind of a little bit of a waste of time. We definitely didn't see very many strengths.
And there
In
was
there-
there was no solution.
Yeah.
That's the saddest part about it. It's like there was no solution at the end of it. Like, what is the resolution?
It just kind of was like an obvious like lack of preparation, in my opinion, too. Like
It's like a group
not
project.
really thinking it through.
It's like a group project that you only
Or
have,
like maybe scripted, like by someone else, like this is what we're going to talk about, or this is
Well,
the
that's-
questions you're going to ask. Not really like being considerate of what
That's
should
what,
be going on.
that's what I'm saying though. Is like it doesn't seem like they had questions from other people. It seemed like it was just their
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
That person specifically, his knowledge base, and that is it. He wasn't
Yeah.
They weren't asking questions off of a page, and
Mm-hmm.
they should have. They should have had like 10 questions, each one of them from a board of representatives that actually are knowledgeable in the subject matter. Like when we're working in film and you're working on something that's different, you always hire a consultant to come and tell you.
I feel like maybe they didn't feel the need to take it seriously because it is like TikTok, like a social media app. But I mean, it's
It's just sad.
It has
'cause,
more
like,
viewers than their programs and everything. Like they might have more people in their city, but the views that TikTok gets is moving society towards a new kind of
new social media, really. It's
Yeah.
almost like a social experimentation in a way. It's not even a media anymore because it's like so, like it's so permeated in all of like media and the things that we do and the trends and the fashion and everything, even cooking and all that stuff. So.
yeah.
I think TikTok is exactly where our society is at today, which is like very short attention spans. All of us want less than like 30 seconds of just like quick media, and then
Quick
we-
information. of
Yeah,
some
quick
sort.
information. Just entertain me, and and that's just what TikTok was perfect for. Facebook is adopting that style now too. So now you see it.
Well, if you guys have any opinion or comments, you can reach us in all our social media contents in TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook under In Hindsight. And if you are a local business or a business that want to be featured, want to be guests, or want to sponsor the show, please contact us. And we will see you guys next week.